What's up? So, join me as I'm getting ready. So, talk about one time one of my old co-workers, he posted something about how he was at these work environments where he was just surrounded by gamma males, and I don't know why that stood out, but it kind of made sense. Like, even the beta males like reproduce, I guess, but the gamma is the male that doesn't reproduce. He's just born. He's kind of like the dud, the runt, the dud, and back in caveman days, oftentimes, I've read or listened to, that those males would realize that they can't contribute to the tribe, so that they would self-delete as a result, for the greater benefit of the tribe. By removing themselves, they would either wander off to die in it, or even self-delete like that, because it would benefit the tribe if they were no longer around. So, let me preface what I'm about to say with this. I have zero intentions of self-deleting at all. But I would like to make point of the fact that in the society as a whole, though, I'm aware that I've kind of been placed into a kind of like a gamma male position in life. Genetically, biologically, again, the gammas aren't supposed to procreate at all. They're just, if they don't serve a function in the tribe, then they're not accepted, then they get kicked out of the tribe, and they no longer, they're the least desired, the least valued, right? So, objectively, I kind of fall into that category, but however, a lot of other dudes that are born into this world also should be also in a similar position as me, so they should be, for example, like where the hell did my hat go, man? They should be they should be not desired, but even those men end up getting married, having families, but that's only because the society, the construct of modern society, creates a space where they can or are likely to. I know some gamma males right now. I know a guy I went to school with, and every time I've seen him out, over the years, you could tell that he's not married. You can tell he's always been single, and he has not, I would even argue he's probably hasn't had relations with anyone ever in his life. I can just look at him and tell, and every time I do see him, it's usually him, like, going to a restaurant and picking up food. And short dude like me, and life was kind of handed to him in the sense that he's always been taken care of. He's got parents, he's got a place to live or whatnot. I wouldn't even be surprised if he still lives with his parents, if he doesn't, but I'm assuming he probably has a job. Right, I'm assuming the dude probably has a job somewhere and potentially has his own place, you know, because he was able to, you know, live with his parents, save his money, and then eventually move out at some point. And but you can tell, like, those of us that get it, that understand behavior, get what I'm talking about. So anyways, that dude is definitely an example, and so the beta males, they are the ones, you know, a lot of people say this doesn't exist, like the alpha male and the beta male type of deal, but it does exist. Maybe not in the way that we think, right, as humans, but there is a social hierarchy. There's a socio-sexual hierarchy, right, that truly is prevalent amongst humans. And there's the dudes that, you know, that are good looking enough, tall enough, and they end up being the guys that women get with, you know, for hooking up, for procreation, just to have casual fun with for a time. And simultaneously, they still, you know, and even if they're not looking for it, they run into that guy, like they go out to the bar or something like that. Like, let's say that they go out to the bar, they may not be looking for like an encounter with a guy like that, right? They might not. This thing always falls down. They may not be looking for a guy like that, but right time, right moment, he's looking to have some action, and she just happens to be feeling good, and things happen. He's going to be the guy that the women hook up with whenever they are in the mood for some casual fun. You know, a lot of the time. I mean, it's not black and white. Don't get me wrong. Some people could be hanging out and one thing leads to another, and in that moment, like, that girl might be feeling it that day and at a casual house party, and some beta male is there, you know, some beta male bro is there, and, you know, and he's not that good looking party guy, like, or the party type guy. He maybe he's not that guy, but he just that's why they call it getting lucky. Okay, so determine people's sexual activity, sexual behavior. There's all kinds of variables at play for those things to unfold and happen, right? So anyways, but I will argue that there is such thing as, you know, alpha male, beta male, gamma male, right? And it's kind of fluid. It's not like one specific category. You know, it's fluid. It's a fluid thing, but it still exists. A hierarchy does exist. So anyways, usually the alpha type of guy, the guy that can get the girl, he's the guy that shows up at your job and he's always got a new date for that week, right? And the other guys are going, man, how do you do it? You know, or, man, he always gets some girls. He's one of those guys, you know, like, it's nothing special or magical that he's doing. He's just that guy, you know. That's a naturally occurring phenomenon in human behavior, right? It's just real. It's just reality. So, motherfuckers. Anyways, So that's just how reality works. All right. So then, God dang it. Yes. All right. So, anyways, there's a sheriff deputy like 2 cars behind me, and I get, I hate being around. I hate when cops are pulling. It makes me anxious, right? So, anyways, bad timing. So, anyways, but yeah, it's a real thing, but you know, and but then again, in the same way, the way society has a construct where a gamma can kind of like elevate himself to the position of kind of like a beta guy. In the same way that the society is constructed, it could also create a dynamic where, you know, someone that's not a gamma, someone that maybe with more like of a type A personality, due to environment and circumstances in the modern society, could potentially end up becoming a could end up becoming a someone with a type A personality, or someone that would not be gamma could be kind of artificially be positioned or placed into circumstances that puts him in a gamma type of situation, right? So I kind of feel that if I'm not gamma, I'm definitely placed into a gamma type of position. Just the environment, how I adapted to the world around me, how I ended up you know, life in general, like, because all things on the surface show that you know, within the context of a primal, you know, environment, of a caveman days type of environment, I am technically the gamma male. I'm the one that should walk off into the woods and disconnect from the tribe so that I'm not a burden on the tribe. And how I compensate, I bring value. I bring value to all those around me who have value and status. They allow me to survive within the I'm loosely connected to all the different tribes. And the way I survive is merely by being a worker. I mow people's grass, I do their landscaping, I maintain all the higher members of the tribe on a collective scale. And again, a lot of these are betas or even gammas. Most of the men are betas, and you know, they work their jobs. They got a boss who's the alpha in their life, and they do what they're told, and they're the workers in society. And so the only reason as a modern gamma I survive is through working, by being of help to others with manual labor, and I get my little shack. I mean, technically I rent a pool house. So the modern society has at least provided me a conduit enough to remain alive and connected to the tribe, although loosely connected, to where I'm connected enough to where if I bring value through maintaining the kings and the upper echelons of the tribe, as long as I help them to maintain their lifestyle so that they can, live abundantly within the tribe, then I can survive. I remain on good terms with the tribe. But if I didn't do my part, and one can argue, well, everybody has to do their part in the society and the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, true. All the betas are working for and another way to word it is all the beta males, they have jobs working for the men that start the businesses, and the men that start the businesses are the alphas. Okay. And so they're kind of servants, but they still get somewhat status within the dynamic. They still get tribal value within the tribe. They can operate having their own little dominions within the bigger dominion, but the gamma male has to be the guy that is everybody's servant. But then again, it may be contextual. I may be a contextual gamma to where, like, I was just fucked from the beginning. The environment that I grew up in and the people I ended up around and near and with, and so then therefore I become a and then the times that I've had to fight, I've had to fight. I've had to, there's been times where I've experienced, to say it politely, there's been times where I've experienced having fun with women. So I don't think a natural gamma would be desired by any woman. He'd be more like, total reject. But so I would say that I'm probably like contextual gamma, like in this. Okay, let's put it into perspective. The beta men hate the alpha dudes, right? The beta men really, they have to put up with them, they have to endure them, but they don't like them, especially the guys that get all the women. They kind of low-key have like a subtle resentment towards them, and so as a result they like they can't do anything about it. This is why at a primal level a lot of these like leftist dudes like hate Trump, because Trump represents that alpha guy and he does get the women, right? That's why at a primal level they don't like him, because at some primal level they know that he gets the girls that they don't. Even if not now, in the past he did, so he still represents that archetype. So what we are observing, so think about that every time you see like liberals get all mad at Trump. And I'm not taking Trump's side. I'm not trying to take his side. I'm just saying, regardless of what you feel about Trump, he still has that kind of primal dominance that he uses through money, right? And he's over 6 foot tall, and like back in his schooling days, he used to. I remember of one circumstance where he beat somebody up, is what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but point is he still represents that archetype, and that's what they hate. So the betas and even the gammas want to take down any of those men. They have a deep-seated resentment and jealousy. So in my own life, I've experienced times where, I have been in a room, let's just put it this way, more than once, where I end up dating one of the girls, or hanging out, but the other dudes aren't. and so they collectively get together to try to ruin my reputation and make me look bad. And at the end of the day, it's obviously because of that, you know. I'm just being objective. I'm not trying to stroke my ego at all, but I'm just saying it is what it is. So anyways, just some thoughts on it. Just interesting human behavior, dynamic thoughts. Anyways, that's all.